Good afternoon and welcome to the studio with Joe.
Hello everybody, nice to
Hello.
see you again.
And myself, Liz. So it's good to be back, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very good to be back.
Um,
Lovely day today, which is, well,
yeah.
it wasn't very nice this morning, but lovely day now, and yeah, really nice to be back.
Yeah, I mean, last night we had thunderstorms, didn't we?
Oh God, yeah, it was horrible, wasn't it? Thunderstorms, but then again, it's always nice to be inside when you can hear the rain and the thunder outside. So
Yeah. With those flashes though, they're a little bit.
yeah, they are definitely.
So we're getting all sorts of weather at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah, loads of different weather, but hopefully now that we're edging into summer, we'll have these sunny skies and lovely weather carrying on.
Yeah, nice barbecue weather, isn't
Yeah,
it?
definitely.
So I find personally when it gets warmer that my diet changes. I don't want to be eating sort of like the comforting, warm, wintry foods.
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean. I feel like we all try and maybe eat a bit more maybe a bit more healthily as we go into the summer.
Yeah, some of those sort of heavier foods, they kind of like take a little bit longer to digest, and so when it's warmer, you want to be able to move around a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we're going into salad days, and it's probably good timing as well because this week is I can't actually say vegetarianism week. So we've all got different diets, obviously, and so I'm a meat eating person. I think you are as well.
Yes, as am I. Yes, I am.
Yeah, but I'm very picky, very picky. I tried to eat some vegetables, but very fussy with it.
Yeah, no, I do love vegetables. I eat vegetables with most of my meals. So it's something I try and eat every obviously five a day is still important. So I try and do that. But yeah, obviously there is a lot of things about eating meat and the energy it kind of takes up to produce that meat. So there is obviously benefits of eating vegetables or being a vegetarian. So I'm sure maybe you'll cover those.
Yeah. So then as well, there's a lot more options than there used to be. Say 10 years ago, there wasn't very many meat-free options, but now, because veganism's sort of taken off as well, you've got lots of plant-based options, like in the supermarkets and that.
Yeah.
So there's alternatives, and I think as things, develop, they are actually becoming more palatable. Not to everybody's tastes.
Yeah.
You might say, plant-based, I'd rather have my meat. But actually, some of them aren't too bad.
No, definitely. I mean, I've had definitely plant-based options, and they are lovely. Some of them are really nice. They taste very similar to the meat options, but it's not for everybody. Everyone's entitled to their opinion on what they want to eat and what they think's right and wrong. Obviously, again, myself, I eat meat, but there are, there's some lovely plant-based options out there. And it's important to support the people who do have plant-based options. I know for the Jubilee coming up that we're going to have plant-based options available for people who are interested in them. So it's important for everybody to have a selection of food that they want.
Yeah, so you're actually doing a separate barbecue, aren't you, to make sure that they're not...
Yeah, so they'll have 3 barbecues, I think 2 for the meat options, as we'd expect more people would probably have them, but you have to, it's good to have that separate barbecue for people who want the plant-based options.
So there you go. So if you are a vegan, vegetarian, or just staying off of meat for a little while, you can be assured that is being considered at St. Peter's. And Joe's taking responsibility for it.
Yes, I am taking responsibility. I'm sure it'll go fine. I've barbecued before, so I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, it's good to know for everybody watching, and through the adverts and things, people know there will be plant-based options for them if that is what they are looking for.
Yeah. So if you are like me and you're a bit fussy when it comes to food, there is ways, and I can testify to this, that you can expand your diet by just trying a new vegetable every now and then. Just trying something new that you haven't tried before. If you don't get on with it, there's another option, and that is to try and disguise it, which any parent will probably have tried.
Yeah, I mean, I've got friends who are vegetarian, and it is difficult for him. It was at first definitely finding foods that he liked, because obviously he was used to eating meat. He became a vegetarian, and it was finding foods that he wasn't having to eat the same stuff almost every day, because he had vegetables that he liked, but there was obviously some that he hadn't really tried that he wasn't too sure on. But it was good for him to explore different recipes, explore different different vegetables and different ingredients to make a meal, to make a vegetarian meal. And again, I've tried them and they are lovely. You know, I could definitely stop having meat and eat those. You know, from how they tasted, I wouldn't be against having those. So, you know, have a look online. There's recipes, there's different things you can do, different ingredients you can include with vegetables to make them taste maybe a bit better if you weren't too fond of the ingredient itself.
That's right. Yeah, there are lots of vegetarian or, you know, just meat-free recipes that you can find online. One tip is to type into Google "eat well," because if you do that, you get tons of websites that you know, all the good advice on there. Right at the top is NHS one.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing I was quickly going to mention. The NHS Eat Well campaign and the different campaigns they have. There's loads of websites about, you know, what kind of, how you, I mean, it's you know, being vegetarian and you know, only eating vegetables is obviously, you know, it's a good thing with, you know, the consumption of meat and obviously the kind of moral impacts of that. You know, obviously again, people have their own opinions, but there's, you know, just looking on there, you have a look at the healthy eating as well. You know, you have a look at the food groups that you're supposed to be having, and you know, you can get protein from vegetable options, from vegetarian options. So you don't have to have meat, but it's important just to look at that, just to have a look at your food groups, to have a look at the way of healthy eating and how you should be consuming food each day and each week.
Yeah, and the good thing about that is it doesn't have to be complicated.
No.
And a lot of them, they use like the circle or the plate.
Yeah, the plate. Yeah, that's the main one. I remember going, you know, when I was doing PE and stuff like that in sixth form, as well as food education, you learn about the eat well plate and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's important to. I think we all. I mean, I know myself. I've neglected that plate sometimes, and it doesn't help. It really doesn't. You know, it doesn't help with both physical health or mental health. You know, it's important to get all different food groups. They give you so many different nutrients and, you know, different vitamins and things like that. So it's important to do, you know, to go by that plate, have your 5 a day. And yeah, obviously it can be a bit more difficult for vegetarians to get the protein they need, but there is protein in vegetarian options. So, you know, it is there, and it is, you know, you can live a sustained and healthy life being a vegetarian, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, it's like a pie chart, isn't it? So even if you don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, all you have to do is glance at it, you know, and it will show you around about how much, you know, fatty things or carbohydrates or things like that. So it's worth a look, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so I mean, this is going off topic a little bit, but there's obviously a big thing about weight loss and things about you've got to cut out this food, you've got to cut out that food, and I've always found it that you never have to cut out things completely. You just need to eat in moderation, and you need to eat in a healthy way. And you know, my mum, she's always looked at, you know, like different diets where you have to like eat this, you can't have bread, or you can't have this, and it's like, no, you don't have to completely avoid those foods. Although it's, you know, good to try and avoid cakes and all that kind of really high in fat food, you don't have to avoid it. No. You know, you can eat it, and it, in a way, it is healthy for you to eat a little. You know, you've got to eat sugar. You have to eat sugar. You have to eat fat. Exactly. So you've got to have them in moderation, but it is important to have them in that kind of, in them sections in a way, in that kind of, in the quantities you're supposed to.
I mean, some of the diets where, you know, people choose to go without certain food groups, it does work for them.
Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does.
But I think overall, I mean, myself, I've tried many diets and still yet to find the perfect formula. But, you know, going back to this is always going to be good advice, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. This Eat Well plate and the things that the NHS provide, although it might not be a thing that's going to cause a drastic change really quickly, it's about giving yourself a healthy, active lifestyle. Yeah. And that's what it will give you. It will give you the guidelines to have just a healthy, what you should be eating on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and do you know what? Another thing is, I know people can go to their GP or even the healthcare practitioner that you find at a GP nowadays, and they can refer you to a dietitian if you feel that you need that. But also there's this social prescribing or self-referral now.
Yeah.
And one of them is My Weight Matters, which is the website. You can put it in Google, and that will basically, that's got everything on it. All different diet ideas, calorie counting, exercise, things like that.
Well, I think the thing is with diet and with weight and things like that. Everyone struggles with it. Underweight, overweight. Everybody has problems at some point in their life, usually. So there's loads of things out there. Social media is a massive thing. You've got things, especially with TikTok and all those kind of things now. You've got loads of people speaking about diet, speaking about things that you could look at in terms of, what you can eat, being physical, being healthy. You also see it again a lot about vegetarianism on social media because it's a big thing. There's loads of places. I mean, I even know here there's a Weight Watchers group.
Yeah,
that
it's
happens.
Slimming World.
Slimming World, sorry. Slimming World here. So, that's another thing. There's places everywhere you can go to get advice on this. But, it's always good to sometimes start online and looking at different things like that.
Well, that's it. So, I think there are other benefits though. I know you briefly mentioned earlier about the environment. So, to produce vegetables, it has the impact, it's a lot less than to produce meat.
Yeah.
So that includes fuel to transport it, from farm to fork. So it has to go through the whole process.
Yeah, you've got the carbon footprint that that grows from from producing that meat, and it is very high energy that it does take to produce that. I think the thing that we need to look at, if you are a meat eater and you are somebody who likes to eat meat, the thing to look at is looking at your consumption of meat, looking at how much you are eating, because again, you don't want to eat too much meat. And it's also looking at where are you buying that from? Is it locally sourced?
Yeah.
Is it from surrounding areas, farms and things in the UK? I mean, you always see where the product's from. You see it on the product. It says like from here, from there, and it is important to try and look for things that are local, as this does mean less CO2 emissions as it has to travel from closer, from the farm.
Yeah,
to the store.
some of them come thousands of miles.
Exactly. Yeah, and it is something that I think people neglect. They don't look at. They just think, oh yeah, that's the cheapest. I'll grab that.
Yeah.
But it is always good to look at the the environmental benefits and what you're buying and what it is doing to the planet. It's always something to think about. It's not always easy.
No, it's not always possible if somebody's on very tight.
Exactly. So it's not always. We're not saying that you have to buy organically and things like that. It's not always that simple. Yeah. But it's always something just to think about when you are doing your weekly shop or you are buying dinner. Yeah. Have a look and just see what you might be buying and what possibilities you could do where maybe you could buy more locally and things like that.
And I suppose you could go one better if you had a garden, or if you wanted to look at green space near you, like the local allotments.
Yeah, of course.
You could have a try at growing it yourself.
I mean, at 213, we've got the garden that I'm sure we're planning on doing a lot of gardening and growing different vegetables and things like that there.
Yeah.
I know in my house we're just redoing our garden, and I know we're going to be trying to kind of get a space where we can plant different things. So it is, it's definitely something, and it's not just with that, it's cheaper obviously growing your own food, but it's also enjoyable. Yeah. And it does help with that mental side of things, growing food and cooking it from there. It's great fun.
Well, I think the advice is to at least get out and about, have a walk for 30 minutes a day at least. Mm-hmm. It's not always easy if you work in an office, say 9 to 5 or something.
Definitely not, no.
Something like that will definitely help, won't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's good fun, growing things and, making that progress. And then, using what you've made to make, beautiful food. I think the thing that my family has always struggled with a little bit is the time to make meals and to properly cook and things like that. And I'm trying to now each Sunday. I'm the one who cooks the roast dinner.
Really?
Yeah, so I wake up quite early and I spend the day cooking it, and it's so enjoyable, and it's nice to have that day where I can just focus on making a lovely meal for everybody.
I bet your mum's pleased as well.
Yeah, she definitely is. She doesn't have to make it anymore. It's me who does it. So, but that is, it is lovely to do. So it's something, if you have that time on your hands, again, it's not always easy. But if you have that time on your hands, it's lovely to look at doing.
Yeah. So I think, do you want to give everybody a challenge this week?
A challenge?
Yeah. So what could we do this week that is differently, maybe? If say that we're eating too much meat or that.
I think the main one thing that I found good when I was looking at the food consumption and things like that, I did a diary of the food I was eating on a day-to-day basis, and then I looked back at that and I saw, okay, maybe on this day I was eating a bit too much meat. Maybe this day I wasn't eating enough vegetables, or I wasn't having enough carbohydrates or something like that. I think that's a good way of maybe looking at kind of the healthy eating aspect, and then you can kind of look at that diary you've made and bring it into, look at it at the end of the week maybe, and you can see, oh, okay, well, I bought, or maybe I ate some strawberries, something like that. Where did I get those strawberries from? Were they locally sourced? Could I maybe go and get them from a farm, or locally? Could you get them from somewhere that hasn't had to travel so far? So I think that would be a good thing, maybe making a diary of the food that you're eating. And again, it's not just the benefits that you can have a look at for the environment. You can have a look at, again, maybe I'm eating too much fatty foods, maybe I'm eating too much of, or maybe I'm not eating enough of them. So it's good to have a look and to kind of look at that way.
Yeah, brilliant. So other things that you could also do, obviously keep a food diary is a very good one because it shows us exactly what we're doing. You could try a new recipe this week, or just try a new vegetable this week, but not to leave vegetarians out, because they're already obviously doing these things already, aren't they?
Yeah.
But there's lots of other food groups in that big circle. You could go back to that, have a little look and see what you haven't tried.
Yeah, definitely. It's for vegetarians as well. You don't, just because you're vegetarian doesn't mean you can't eat all the food groups. There's protein in loads of different foods, not just meat. So it's important, if you are a vegetarian, that you don't neglect protein. It's a very important, obviously again it's a part of that Eat Well plate, and it's something that is really important that you do eat to function. So if you're a vegetarian as well, look at that Eat Well plate and look at, am I still having a balanced meal each time I eat, or am I having a balanced and healthy diet?
Yeah, and if you do take anything up this week, make sure that you share it with us, because we want to know. We want to know how you're getting on with things and what your experiences are, I think.
Of course, yeah, it's good to share, and it helps other people who might be struggling with their diet.
Yeah.
If they know, you're saying, this is an idea, I've got to have a balanced meal, it's lovely, this is how I did it, this is the ingredients. If you share that through social media, through our social media, people see it and they go, you know what, I want to try that looks really nice. And it gives them something that maybe they go, I want to have that most weeks. So
yeah, and it's opening again a conversation, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
And that helps people keep it in mind. You don't have to think about it all the time, because
no, of course not.
But being a bit more mindful about what we're eating is always a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. So I'd say we'd wrap up there with the talk on diet and vegetarianism.
Yeah.
What have we got going on around live streams?
Okay, so tomorrow we're going to open at the church. It's an open church with a book exchange, and the cafe is open too. That's from 9:30 to 11:30. So if you're available in the morning, do pop in, because we'd like to see you.
Yeah, we'll both be here, and we'd be happy to have a coffee, have a chat. Again, we've got a bookcase here now, so if you want to maybe just come and have a read, it's a lovely place to just kind of chill out, hopefully in the sun, and enjoy a cup of tea or a cup of coffee.
And if you're reading something right now, why not put in the chat, what you're reading and share it with others, because that's always interesting to see what
Yeah.
other people are reading. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it really is. I mean, I know we spoke about possibly at some point a book club.
Yeah.
I think that would be something we'd really enjoy doing here at St. Sed's. So if you would be interested in that at all, please get in contact with us. I've got the contact details here for you. So please get in contact, because we would love to start up a book club, something like that.
I mean, you like reading, don't you?
Yeah, no, I love reading.
So do I. So,
so it would be great to kind of get a community together, get a little group going, where we could share thoughts on different books that we read together.
Yeah, and then also on Sunday we've got worship here at St. Sed's at 3:30. It's really laid back, relaxing, traditional worship, but it's really open to everybody. So, you know, if you're free in the afternoon on Sunday, come along.
Yeah, if you are, you know, somebody who goes to church each week, or maybe you've never gone to church, feel free to stop by, and we're here to welcome you. However you feel, however you think, we are here for you, and we are ready to, build this community up and have more people here.
That's it. And the good thing about it is it's all on the screen, so you don't have to know anything.
Of course, yeah. There's not too much pressure of knowing anything.
Pressure.
So that's great. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
So next week in the studio, I think we're going to be looking at the question of, do we think children should do chores to earn their pocket money? So it could be controversial, this one.
Could be controversial, that one, but definitely looking forward to discussing that.
Yeah.
Again, there's a possibility we may have a new face here, but we'll see about that. We'll see. Maybe you'll have somebody else to associate with the studio. Before we do finish, though, I would like to quickly show a clip. This is a new clip, and it's regarding a fundraiser. Again, not directly here for St. Sed's, but it is for St. Stephen's, as we are trying to develop that area as well. But it is something that Reverend Colin Baldwin is doing for, putting on, and it's really, really important, and we'd love for you to just have a look at it and see what you think. So that is a clip, again, one that I made. I'm actually quite proud of that one.
It's
but
good.
it's Colin's. He's doing a 1,000-mile cycle all around the north. It's really exciting. Colin is hopefully going to be doing like a little daily live stream, hopefully as well, of his journey and where he is. So that will be something to tune into as well.
Is it the cathedrals?
Yeah,
so we might get to see some of them.
Yeah, we may get to see some of them. So yeah, that's something that is going on. If you could, again, on our social media, we have loads of different things about it, but if you could visit the Just Giving page, or just quickly go back on the stream or on the video and scan that QR code, you'll be taken to that page. And if you do have anything to give, then that is great. It's really, really, we really value that support. We know, obviously, again, that's not easy for everybody, but just, encouraging messages for Colin and things like that will go a long way itself, wouldn't they? Mm-hmm. So that is everything from me today. Have you got anything else you'd like to say, Liz?
Yeah, I'm just pumping it here now, but Jubilee, a lot of people are thinking about what they're going to be doing on Jubilee week. And so I just want to say that the live streams churches have got you sorted.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on, Obviously here, we are going to have a picnic. It's on the Wednesday,
on the Wednesday.
So we're planning on having a picnic. So again, anybody who wants to get involved, please contact us. and we'd love to hear from you about that, because we would like lots of people to come here. Hopefully, again, the weather's good,
Yeah.
and we can sit outside and have a picnic all together.
But if it's not, we'll just come inside.
Yeah, we'll have it
Still do
inside. But
Yeah.
and then they've got the garden party at 213 on
Yeah.
the Thursday. So the next day again at 213 there'll be something, and then Friday we have
Big one.
the big party at St Peter's, where there'll be a barbecue, obviously the vegetarian options, as well as some games, bouncy castle and things like that. So
Yeah, lots
really,
of fun.
really looking forward to it.
Okay, brilliant. So check those out on the website, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
on the website, on our social
Facebook.
media.
Yeah.
So yeah, please get in contact if you're interested in that.
And I think that's everything from us today, isn't it?
Yeah, so thank you for tuning in. We look forward to speaking to you again next week. And yeah, again, if you want to get involved with anything happening over live streams, just feel free to contact us. We welcome you. And again, obviously, hopefully see you tomorrow as well at the Open Church.
Yes. See you then. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.